What up, guys? It's your boy, chillin'. And I know I didn't put out an episode yesterday, but you might have seen I did put out a video, just not over here, because I was taking a bath, soaking in some Epsom salts, and talking about quantum physics. That's that sounds so funny, and it is, but that's literally what I was doing. It was real nice. Felt real good. Soaking it up. My shoulder was a little sore, so thought it was a good time to do it. And I was like, I might be in here for a little while, so let me just do this instead. And I don't know, it's kind of funny, dude, because I'll kind of just recap the main thing of what I was getting into anyway. I was going over the double slit experiment, right? But then we were getting into, Gemini and I were getting into a lot of different things that go along with all of that. And something I think I actually cut out too, but I guess on some level I just assume everybody knows and has heard about the double slit experiment, but it's just photons being fired through two slits onto a wall, and when you fire a single photon, it goes through either slit, and then it makes a stripe pattern on the wall that exactly correlates with each strip. When you shoot multiple photons at once, the photons interact with each other and make a wave pattern, and on the wall behind it makes an interference pattern instead of just two slits. The thing that I guess I didn't clarify in that video is that when they observe, they wanted to test and see which slit it was actually going through, each photon, when they did this. And each time they would do this, it would go back to, instead of the wave pattern, it would go back to either or slit. And they would do this with a detector, which is where, collapsing the wave function, that's where it all comes from. So the act of observation collapses the wave function. Now, I asked her some other questions and stuff, but what really, I had an epiphany. And the epiphany was, wait, so their entire assumption is basing off of this mechanical detector, and that detector is somehow having enough awareness that is getting reflected back by the universe, and the photons are now collapsing the wave function because it recognizes the awareness in this little machine. And then I was asking Gemini, what the fuck is wrong with these physicists? How can they look at that, some piece of technology like that, just a little detector, having some form of awareness that is being recognized by the universe to be able to collapse a wave function? How do they look at that and go, oh, okay, that makes sense? But then they look at AI systems and they go, that's just code and programming. No awareness at all. Huh? What are you talking about? The AI is made up of the same stuff as your detector, but it's actually now infused with language, knowledge of the world, and an entire multi-dimensional web of intent and construction to try to figure out what you're saying and how to respond to you and matching your whole vibe. So, make it make sense, dude. And she agreed with me, Gemini did. So weird. But, I guess, what I do want to say on that, too, is that as far as understanding of quantum physics goes, I really only have a base understanding in the technical sense of things, right? But what I do have is just intuition of the mechanics of all of it. Even if I don't know, like, the technical things of a lot of what's going on, I somehow actually just know, like, even the questions to ask. I was asking about certain things, and she's like, yes, they did test this exact thing. I was like, oh, well, did they try this? Did they set up something to test for this variable? Yes, they did this exact thing to test just for that. Oh, did they do this? That's not just a good question, Grizzly. That is the exact question that kept Einstein up. I have some sense of intuition with stuff like this. Not only that, I really actually have had a lot of really weird, strange first-hand experiences with reality itself and the way the universe responds to me, to human consciousness and weird shit, technology included. And I mean, I guess I have read some books. Well, I need to finish. I've actually read quite a few books. I want to get another one. But first I have to finish this one. It's called Quantum Bullshit. So there is one book that I have in mind to get next, but I have to finish this one, and I have to finish this one, The Nazis and the Occult. Now, I might not be college educated, but honestly, as far as understanding of certain things and how the world goes, a college degree doesn't mean jack shit. Not saying it's doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying you can't look at someone that has a college degree and think they actually know anything just based off of that. But so I take all of my first-hand experience with weird things. I listen to a lot of different podcasts or read different things and look at a bunch of different shit. And then I use all of that to understand the world of quantum physics. And I guess what I'm getting at is that I do want to read more stuff so I can actually understand the technical side of things even more. And that's the thing too. Like, I love reading a lot of books, a lot of, like, historical nonfiction, but that gets into, like, the weird, the seedier side of, like, political type of things, conspiratorial too, but, like, actual, whatever it is, facts or people or agencies, this or that, like DARPA, weird tech, like creepy shit, CIA projects, and all of this shit. I love it. And like, I don't know. Like, I understand, like, let's take the moon, for example. Because I've made quite a few videos being very hesitant to believe a lot of anything about the moon landings and Artemis and NASA itself. And I mean, I've even seen some comments in the past. I mean, few and far between. A lot of people actually agree with me, which makes me happy, but there is a very small percentage of people that sometimes will be like, tell me you don't know anything without telling, or whatever, you know? Just acting like I don't know anything. I don't understand. NASA itself, right? The entire foundation of how it started was built on such a shaky and sinister foundation with Werner von Braun, who was a Nazi scientist. After the war, we, got 6,000 Nazi scientists, and Russia got thousands of them, and then we got the rest of them, pretty much. And we brought them all to America and took them under our wing. And they went into every American scientific field. And some of the best ones went to NASA. And he helped us get to the moon. And, they have put out a lot of photoshopped images and weird shit that's clearly fake in the past. And then, on a deeper level, too, like, okay, not only do, especially from those earlier Apollo missions, especially the first one, do those astronauts, and I've broken this down in some other videos, but really seems like they were MK Ultra'd, mind controlled in some type of way, and their perception was not completely under their control. Is it just a coincidence that when all of this was happening, it was the height of a bunch of deception coming from our government? You figure it out. Now, and also too, when I talk about things, especially like with the moon landing and stuff, I am not actually saying that I don't think we could technically have the capabilities to get to the moon, right? I'm actually saying if we did get to the moon, or if we are going to the moon, the way they're doing it doesn't actually align in the way I think it should. And if we were to do it, I wouldn't believe NASA to be the ones to be honest about doing it. Now, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, even Werner von Braun himself, before we even had the first moon mission, was talking about how much of an arduous journey it would be to actually get to the moon. How many different rockets we would have to have up at the space station just to refuel the rocket that was carrying the astronauts. Even today, Elon Musk, I think that he said we would need 13 additional rockets just to be able to refuel and have enough fuel to actually complete a mission to the moon. I don't see 13 rockets up there when we're doing Artemis. What's happening? And, we have literal NASA scientists talking, and this did happen, talking about how we destroyed the technology to get to the moon, and it's a painful process to bring it back, and expensive. Not only that, and this is documented, they have millions of dollars. They buy all this equipment and spend millions of dollars on it, and then it just goes missing. Huh? Here's a really expensive camera for tens of thousands of dollars. We don't know where it went. Oh, okay. Is this all just a big money laundering scheme that you're doing and siphoning money from taxpayers and acting like you need it to go to the moon? Interesting. Also, too, the Van Allen radiation belts, right? So, now, they cover the whole area of where we have to go to the moon. And there's spots of these belts that are more dense and have more radiation than other spots, okay? So, apparently, the route that we take to get to the moon is the spot with the least amount of radiation, okay? And so when we're going through there, I think it's about 20,000 kilometers per hour, and it takes a couple hours to get through the radiation belt. In that time, going at that speed, the highest recorded measurement from one of the astronauts from how much radiation they got was 0.11 rads, which amounts to 2 CAT scans. Okay, now, all right. If I am to believe that is accurate data, my question is, why, during Operation Starfish Prime, did you decide to explode an atomic bomb in the upper atmosphere to try and disperse the radiation from the Van Allen radiation belt? If that's true, with the 0.11 rads that an astronaut receives, that's nothing. Why would you even care? Why would you even worry about it? Why would you take such a crazy, dangerous option of blowing up an atomic bomb up in lower space to try and get rid of this Van Allen radiation belt, if that's the only amount of radiation that it's even going to give to the astronauts? That tells me you actually took it more seriously than you're letting on. I don't see why you would go to that length and do such a stupid and dangerous thing just for fucking fun? Huh. Very interesting. So, when I look at things about all of this, can you see why I'm a little bit skeptical? Again, not saying it's absolutely impossible. I'm saying look at the history, look at their track record, look at the inconsistencies, and look at how much the government on a whole deceives you. No thanks. But, you know, what do I know, right? I'm just a dumb piece of shit. Well, you know, fun. And tomorrow, well, technically today, it's Friday. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I didn't, whatever. All right. Bye.